What's up, tribe? I'm Travis James, and on this episode, I dragged my producer Honcho for a blast to the past. Now I know what you're thinking. There's all these houses. How wild can it be? But just upstream, Honcho makes a prehistoric discovery. It's now time to go deeper into the spirit of Dragged Wild. This is Dragged Wild Afterbytes.
Welcome to Dragged Wild Afterbytes. I am your producer, Honcho, and with me is the host of Dragged Wild, a man who loves nature so much, I wish they would get a room. He puts the bi in biosphere, but most importantly of all, he knows how to take people like you and me out of our comfort zone and into nature where we can experience what it really means to be one with nature. The one and only Travis James.
What's up, tribe? I'm super happy and appreciative to be here because it's my mission to not stop with every ounce of air in my lungs, every drop of blood in my veins. My job is to get everybody who can hear this message as excited about this planet as I am, because this place is truly paradise. And through the course of this production, we're gonna prove that to absolutely everybody.
Well said, Travis. And you might ask, what is Dragged Wild, the show, about? And what it is to us is it's an alternative to politics, to commercialism, to religion, to those what we believe are traditional systems that are kind of fear-based. We believe in energetic fact. So to us, what that means is if you're going to Facebook daily, if you're on Instagram, if you are constantly looking at the news sites, keeping up with politics, and you're doing all this so that you can be in touch with what's happening in the world today. When you do that, you're actually getting more out of touch with the reality and the truths of nature. You're starting to be relying on men's opinions and other people's interpretations of truth because you're not experiencing it yourself. And so what Dragged Wild is, to me, it's about taking people out of their comfort zone, away from all this media, and I mean all media. I don't mean one type of media. I don't mean one station. It's all media. So you can see the true consequences of your actions when you say things, when you walk, when you push things aside. In nature, you get to actually see the real consequence of it. And that to me is what Dragged Wild is about. So Travis, I know, I have my kind of high concept idea of what Dragged Wild is, but you've actually had a lot more experience in the wild, being there and proving this concept.
I have experienced it, but I also have experienced living this life in this society and seeing my fellow peers completely obsessed and just in the belly of social media. And I see that the more that they put their energy and their focus in that artificial virtual world, into technology, into this societal norms, the less comfortable they're becoming out there in Mother Nature. And I get a little intimidated, a little nervous watching this trend because we evolved out there on this planet. We excelled out there in Mother Nature. It's what led us to the point that we're at right now. Our innate ability to relate beautifully, sync with that world incredibly, has allowed us to rise to the status where we're at.
That's a great point.
So to be afraid of that world now, we have lost touch with who we truly are and our relationship to this beautiful planet that we exist on. The people that I see now completely indulged in social media are so focused on that I see a dependency on that technology to the point where they lost sight with, for instance, maps is a beautiful example. Before it was a great skill to be able to use a compass, use maps, be able to navigate, even before that with the stars, with latitude and longitude, all those clues in order to traverse this globe. But nowadays, maps makes it so easy. Google Maps, Apple Maps, it's so easy to locate an address or to go across the country on a road trip without actually using any of your values, any of your skills. And when you sacrifice your skills, you're at the mercy of those technologies and the people that are running them. You no more have value in yourself. I'm not here to say, hey everybody, I want you to get off the grid entirely and not use the modern technologies. I am here to say, practice being off the grid. Experiment in getting out there. Learn who you are and how you relate to this world so that you aren't at the mercy of those technologies. And I'm not talking conspiracy stuff, I'm talking financial stuff. I'm talking individual sovereignty. The point of Dragged Wild to me, in a grounded kind of way, is to get people to recognize their true value, because it's in your value that you have the power to be able to survive, to exist, to thrive. But when you're at the hands of the people controlling the technologies, controlling the societies, and you have no more faith in how you can relate and interface with the world around you, you are giving 100% of your power and control to others. And then it doesn't matter who that is. If their intentions may not be aligned with yours, it doesn't matter. You're under their control.
I want to make it clear what we're talking about. We're not talking about a specific channel. We're talking about all of them. We're not talking about a specific show that you watch, that if you watch that one show, you're worse off than this other guy who watches a different show. It doesn't matter which show you watch, because none of those shows are going to give you that power.
Exactly.
Before we get started, I do want to talk about a couple sponsors, and we do things a little different here at Dragged Wild. Most people go out and solicit a sponsor. What we do is we advertise somebody, and then after it airs, we go to them and say, if you don't want us to show this again, you need to pay us. So that's my strategy for getting a sponsor. We're actually asking them to pay us to take it off the air. We're always looking for people to sponsor, so if you're interested, let us know. But let me start with one of our sponsors. I'm sure he's going to pay to get this off our show. Tico Tom's Costa Rican Coffee. And Travis, why is Tico Tom's so good?
He grinds better than anyone.
Look at that mustache. Is there any question about whether this guy grinds better than anybody?
I'm not doubting him.
This is like a cocaine for good people. That's what this coffee is. And there's a guarantee. If this coffee does not wake you up, he will personally come to your house and get you out of bed. I'm guarantee you.
That's frightening.
Also, we do have a tradition here. We do consider ourselves to be a tribe. That includes the people you can't see behind the scenes, the people who are basically taking their time to help us spread the message. But what we do as a tribe, and we're going to ask our viewers to do this, and you can do this with whatever. We happen to have some Matty rum standing by, some shots, not just us, but our crew who you can't see. But we want you to do this but you can do anything you want. It could be tea, it could be a beer, it could be water, it could be something you smoke. It doesn't matter to us. The point is, we're a tribe. We want you to feel like you're part of a tribe. And so what we do when we start the show is we all take a quick shot of whatever and celebrate the tribe. So here, with everybody, including our crew, which we try to keep them behind the scenes, and cheers.
To our true potential.
To our true potential. That's really good. We got to give it an extra minute for those people who are smoking to exhale. And this is here you might see the golden god over here, and what it is this is our own little concoction. It's called a Honcho Rita, and it's not for sale, and you can't find it anywhere. But if you're in the St. Augustine area and you're a subscriber, or you bring a bunch of subscribers and you let us know, you may be invited to come hang with us here in St. Augustine, the oldest city in the world, where we're starting the newest movement in the world called Dragged Wild. You may be invited to come have one of these with us. Anyway, so this podcast is based on our show, which is called Dragged Wild.
Dragged Wild, in its conception, is about bringing your everyday person out into a wild experience, not only to see how incredibly awesome this planet is, but to understand their relationship to this incredibly awesome planet. We create these adventures, these up close and personal, face-to-face interactions where people are a little intimidated, bring them out there, let them experience it for themselves. I get to see them grow, and as more and more of us grow, To me, that's what impacts this planet, is recognizing how blessed we are to be a part of this place.
It could be anybody, and they're not going to know what we're doing.
Even if somebody knows what they think's going to happen, when we pull them out there, all bets are off. Anything can take place.
So I get it. So we take them on adventures. What kind of adventures do you take people on, Travis?
I mean, it can vary. One thing that we take great pride in is recognizing that adventures are everywhere. All you have to do is kind of squint your eyes a little bit, and they can be in your own backyard, which takes us to the adventure Jurassic Bite that we brought you on. So our first episode here, we dragged Honcho, the producer, wild.
In the process of getting ready, we thought, well, let's not quite get a guest yet. Let's kind of practice what we know with our crew. Let's kind of practice on Honcho.
Exactly.
You guys put together a plan, and you didn't tell me, because we wanted to make it just like the actual person who's going to be part of the show. So I didn't know what you guys had planned. I knew that you knew that I wanted something exciting and it had to be really great. So I just want to play a clip here so that you see exactly what I walked into. So let's play clip number 1.
Got my producer Honcho out here. You ready to rock?
Dude, how are you going to drag me wild in this really quaint looking neighborhood? I thought this show was called Dragged Wild.
So that's the issue, right?
I'm expecting we're going to be next to some kind of raging river. We're going to be like next to some place where like there must be some alligators. My first reaction as producer was like, we're telling everybody this is Dragged Wild, and we're in somebody's backyard. I wanted to bring that up because that's what I saw, and I could imagine a guest coming up and saying, I expected being, with some lions or alligators or something.
It's like this. Society, our culture, we put a blanket over ourselves, and that blanket's a bit artificial. We drape that over the landscape, and we call it New York City, we call it Chicago, we call it whatever city you're living in. But if you pick up a corner of that blanket, underneath is Mother Earth, is the wild nature. You don't have to get off the grid per se. You have to get out of the mindset. You have Native Americans that have lived exactly where you're sitting right now. You have creatures that have roamed and hunted and survived exactly where you're standing. Go look just a little differently in your backyard, squint your eyes just a little bit, and you're gonna find an adventure that you never knew was there because you've been only taught to look at your world a certain way, but the world of adventure runs deeper, and we proved that in this episode.
Tell the audience exactly what you had planned for us in this neighborhood.
Yeah, so in order to truly represent that you can have a crazy, wild experience not so far from your average subdivision, we went to Central Florida, which was just an hour from where we're sitting right now, and went into their waterways where they are literally carving paths down to a fossil layer. And I wanted to have you find your very first fossil, your first shark tooth. That was the whole point of Jurassic Bite. So even though we were there to find those prehistoric fossils, Honcho, you only had one thing on your mind. Let's play clip 2, because I wanted you to focus on wildlife, and all you could focus on was making money, man.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll find some gold.
That's all he cares about is gold.
It really is.
This is Dragged Wild, not Dragged Rich.
This is kind of...
All right, that might have looked bad, but Travis, I'm a producer. You know my job is to always be looking for money.
100%. It is your job, and I wouldn't want it to be any other way. But when people's priorities are less geared towards making money and more geared towards truly living, to me, that's where value should be asserted.
I think I surprised you because the next clip we're going to show was something that I really didn't expect, and you took great pleasure in. Let's show the next clip, which I think I might have started kind of getting into what you were talking about. And I think even when you were so excited, it took me a minute to realize it. But even though you have to give me credit, I think I did a little bit better job with this next.
I was proud of you.
Let's play the next clip.
Oh,
Yes. That's a piece.
that's a shark tooth?
That's not a full tooth, but that's a piece of prehistoric fossilized shark tooth.
Get out of here.
Show the camera that, baby.
Here, let me put it so you can see. They can see it.
That right there is 1 inch long, and if that whole thing was fully intact, it'd probably be 1.5 inch tooth.
I was really surprised because I was disappointed at first thinking we're going to do something really wild and crazy. But I have to admit, that moment I was really going, wow, this is cool. I'm hot, I'm sweaty, we're walking through the creek for hours. But I started to really feel like this was an adventure.
That thing that you were feeling is what I call the magic. We're looking for fossils, we're looking for shark teeth there, and you found it. You found it. And the fact that you overcame the heat, overcame the wet shoes, overcame traversing the creeks for a long time, and then you found it, in that moment, you're like, yes, I did this.
That was a good find. I was happy with that. I started losing a little bit of interest, but Travis kept me on focus, and we came to a spot where Travis kind of gave me reason to keep moving on. So let's play the next clip.
Here, check this out. You guys see the size of these rocks? Honcho, where we have big rocks, we could have
Big teeth?
big teeth. That's right. And check out this erosion. I mean, this is the perfect spot. So let's see what we can find in here, okay?
I feel like I'm about 1 million years old right now, so maybe that's where the level we're at.
Well, you use that wisdom to find us some teeth.
I'm still expecting to find gold here. That's one reason you still caught me here.
Tell me about why you were excited. What was that in your instincts that made you realize that could be a cool place?
I illustrate in the episode that we can tell right there's going to be some bigger finds because like-sized rocks and like-sized fossils coagulate together. So I knew there was potential to find something pretty special there. And even though you were still hyper-focused on becoming rich.
Big gold chunk.
Exactly. One thing that my job to do is to focus, not only you, but people that were dragging wild, because nature is filled with patterns. And when we saw how those like-sized rocks were gathering, that's exactly the place in those moments from being out there constantly in nature, you start getting an insight. And it's in those patterns when you trust yourself, when you feel something, you search, you follow through, you look deeper into what could be there.
But before we talk about what we actually discovered, I'm going to show you my first reaction. So let's show the next clip. I think it's clip 5.
Wow, have you found one of these before?
I've never found one like that. That's awesome, man.
You know what, dude? I'm dropping the mic. Dude. I'm dropping the mic, dude.
You should.
I'm proud of this, dude. In fact, I think I deserve a good drink after this, man.
I could tell you were excited, but my first thought was, I need a drink. But we did actually find something pretty amazing.
You did not only find something amazing, but it's that moment that I feel everybody needs to experience in order to truly feel alive on this planet. You found an ancient crocodilian tooth, fossilized. That means it goes back millennia in the past. So like we talk about in the film, that thing was around during the time of dinosaurs.
It was an actual dinosaur, basically.
Exactly, you found that.
A dinosaur tooth.
But more importantly than what exactly you found was the fact that you were the one that found it. It's those moments where you recognize, man, I can do something. I can find something like that. I can go into my backyard and have a discovery of a lifetime.
Walking back to the car, I felt a sense of history. I felt really empowered in a way that I was actually part of something so old and ancient, and I was able to discover it. I did 180 from when I started thinking we're in this neighborhood, how is Travis gonna make me happy here, you know? I don't see a keg of beer or anything.
By getting passionate and excited to live a life on this planet, by falling in love with this planet, you start caring for it. And when you care for this place, all of a sudden your positivity is just emanating from you, and that's contagious. And the more of us that are willing to do whatever we can to make this experience, to make this existence more fulfilling for each other, I mean, that impact is what changes the world.
All right, so Travis, I do want to say something. It's not all, roses. When you follow Travis down the path, there are some dangers. So even though we found this amazing discovery, on the way, there was a moment where I thought I might not make it through because I was following this guy. Let's pull up the next clip and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
Are you kidding me? Dude, this is crazy. Why? Oh my God. What if this thing's gonna break or something? Oh, you hear that? Say focus.
Say focus.
In that moment, Honcho, you may look at it like, oh my gosh, what is happening?
Why did you make me go across the log? You knew that was going to happen, didn't you?
I didn't know that was going to happen, but I knew something could happen. And one thing that I want to make perfectly clear, it's in those moments that the stories are created. The catastrophes that happen, that's where life truly exists. If everything is too comfortable, you never really get to embrace what the point of this existence is even all about. Our bodies are resilient. Without the obstacles, we can't truly be who we are. Because without the bugs eating the hedges, you have no bush filling itself out. Without the germs hurting our bodies, we don't have that immune response. We need to have the adversity. You need to have the calamity, because without that, your body won't show how resilient it truly is. And in those moments right there, you actually fell perfectly, which will prepare you to fall more in the future when we're actually out there falling for real. Drag Wild's about pushing oneself into recognizing their true ability. You did a great job, Honcho. I'm proud of you right there.
All right, folks. On that note, thank you for joining us here at Dragged Wild. Let us know. You might be the next person to be dragged wild. We're always looking for people. We're always looking for sponsors. But please stay tuned. Tribe us. Don't subscribe. Tribe. You could be sharing Honcho readers with us, and you might be going blindfolded to the next place, and you might experience what it's like to discover a tooth, or maybe even lose a tooth, huh, Travis?
Exactly. I'm getting excited, Honcho, because I'm so ready to drag you guys wild. But first, I don't want us to fail on our mission. Hey, Cameroon, grab me that right there. Grab me that Meg tooth, because we set out for you to find your very own Carcharodon megalodon giant great white fossilized tooth. You didn't find it. You found a really cool tooth. This thing's incredible, but until we find this, and I got the perfect spot, you, my friend, my producer, Honcho, you're being dragged wild again, my brother.
Well, I will put up with that right now, but going forward, it's going to be our guest.
That's right. So get ready. We're going to take you guys into the unknown to better know who you are.
Thank you, guys. Until next time, peace out. And the wild
is within you. Cheers.
Cheers.